at the Castillo de San Marcos. And obviously, the fort is closed today due to the storm. Here we go. So you can see the kayak over there. Water coming in over the seawall, still coming in at a very rapid pace. The flood is not over, far from over, is more extreme. So normally there's about a 4-foot difference between this wall and that water level. Not today. Not a lot of people out on the streets, but a few there are out checking out damage here and flooding. I'll walk around the outside of the fort and show you the seawall over here where we showed last night. Man, that water is coming. And once again, water down in the moat. This is normally a dry moat where the Spanish put their livestock animals in. So when the city was under siege, they had plenty of room to keep their livestock, to be able to feed the citizens of the city while they were being attacked. See that the water is all the way up to the top of this seawall here, which is a very, very tall wall. Hopefully it doesn't get any higher. This is a Civil War cannon emplacement here. So the Spanish cannons that you see up on top of the gun deck, they could only fire one direction. That's straight ahead. Okay, they couldn't turn them around real fast if that ship or other target started to move. By the time that the Civil War started, they had designed cannons that were mounted on a post here and had wheels along the back of it, and then you could wheel them along that track 180 degrees so that you could fire upon that ship or whatever target that you were firing it at. The hot shot furnace over here put in during the Civil War by the Union Army. Used to heat up cannonballs and try to fire them at wooden ships. Oh my gosh. This water coming up over the seawall. High tide and the storm surge, St. Augustine is taking on a whole lot of water. I would not want to be out on one of those sailboats. Yeah, you get more of it down here. Oh. As soon as we left that spot, it comes flashing over. headed to the north side of the Castillo de San Marcos now. Henry Flagler actually had a 9-hole golf course here on the grounds of the fort. You can see where this water is just massively flowing into this area over that seawall there. Take a look at the dry moat here. No longer dry. Area over here. Houses over there. Looking up to the Mission Nombre de Dios, where the city of St. Augustine was established back in 1565. So if you can imagine the number of storms that this area has seen, this is some pretty intense flooding. Going to make our way up to the top of the boardwalk here. We're looking up towards Volano Beach. So that's the National Park Service headquarters over there. That area looks completely flooded. Law enforcement vehicle over there right now. See a lot of boats up there in that area. One that's taking on some water there. Down this way. Where the water's made their way up, how high they've made it up so far. Sea reeds washing up. Yeah, it's starting to come back down, but all this more water coming in. Even they don't want to be at the beach right now. Beach came to them. This street here leads down to the uptown area and up Magnolia Avenue. Flooded all the way up through there. What is it, kayak paddle? Lots and lots of debris, trash washing up. See, come up over this bench right here. The moat around the Cuba line once protected this city is now full. This is normally about a 4 to 6 foot deep trench. Runs along the Cuba line, which ran from the Castillo de San Marcos all the way down to the San Sebastian River. Our goal of making it down Orange Street to the San Sebastian here. Cut right along the Cuba line here. Show you that area there. Small piece of land to be able to walk along here. That leads over to the city gate. I want to show you some of the flooding that took place down at the San Sebastian. Take a look over here. You see that park bench? Trees over there. Making our way towards the Huguenot Cemetery. It's the Visitor Information Center. And as you can see, the water flows right through here, right up to the Visitor Center. And that's Highway A1A right there, the old Spanish Trail. So far we haven't seen any trees down, which is a good thing. I have to deal with the flooding. Ooh, that water's cold. Take a look back this way. Across. Make our way down the Orange Street to the San Sebastian River. The old city gate, built back in 1808. So this is a Huguenot cemetery. It was opened in 1821 during the yellow fever epidemic. Killed a lot of people. Tradition was if you weren't Catholic, you couldn't be buried inside the city of St. Augustine. The only cemeteries inside the city limits were Catholic cemeteries. So this was located just outside the city gate and the city limits. They continued burials here until It became full in 1884. As you can see, water filling this area by the city gate. Normally it's dry. Make our way over here to Orange and Cordova Street, where there's some more flooding. This is the St. George Inn here, their offices, and 1039 Wine Bar. Yeah, this area is flooded very badly. We're making our way along where the Cuba line ran. This defense wall protected the city from attacks by land from the north. And there's water all the way up Orange Street as far as I can see, all the way at least to Riberia Street. I don't know where this truck thinks it's going, but just to the right of us is the Visitor Information Center and the parking facility. Please don't come driving downtown. This is the parking lot at Potter's Wax Museum and the old drugstore. You'll see Henry Flagler sitting over there waiting to greet tourists as they come into town. This is their parking lot. The old drugstore built back in 1886. The trolley booth there kind of looks like a pontoon boat right now. So we're headed down towards the St. Johns County School Board building. And Carolinas Elementary. This parking lot here flooded out as well. Doesn't seem to have made it up into the buildings there. So yesterday, early in the day, I went out to get some supplies and I noticed that the intersection at Riberia Street and Castillo Drive was experiencing some flooding, but you could make it through there. But the other intersections south of there, which are Orange, Zaragoza, Carrera Street, all of those were flooded because of water not coming from the bayfront, but from the San Sebastian River. Trying to give you a view of some of these homes as we get up this. Yeah. Air escaping from the ground, coming up through the sidewalks here. Let me breathe. I don't know if you saw it in the other video, there was a water line that was busted at one of the ends over there. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I turned off a hose on Riverwalk
Oh my
yesterday.
gosh. Yeah.
The hose was running. You could smell the sulfur.
This is the school board annex over there. Flooded all the way back through there. Yeah, we definitely did not see this kind of flooding down here during Ian. Have seen it during other storms, but big tree that snapped in half over here at the school board lot. When we come back through, let's walk through the garage, check the cars. When we come back through, let's walk through the garage and check the cars.
I didn't get tired.
Oh, it is, but still want to walk through there. Yeah, well, when we come back. Yeah, I want to walk down here to at least to Riberia Street. Yeah, you can see up in the lot here. Look at this car here. Water's all the way up to the bottom of it. Mitsubishi SUV. Might need that boat to get it out of there. Step up here and show you this tree that snapped in half here. Large branch that came off of it. Have a business that you want us to come by and check on, please let us know. We live right down here in the historic district. Not able to drive anywhere, please do not try to drive downtown. As you can see, none of these streets are safe to drive on. And every vehicle that passes through just pushes water further up into these buildings. So this is Sevilla Street here. Leave it up. Okay. So we're making our way down by Catalinas Elementary now. Water's just about up to our knees at this point here at Orange and Sevilla Street. Make our way right out in the middle of the street where it's a little bit higher. So again, we're just about in front of Catalinas Elementary. I imagine they'll be closed for a few extra days here as they assess damage once this water starts receding, but can't really do anything until it starts to go back out and done with the storm. And now we just saw cars driving down this street and we're walking in knee-deep water, so you can imagine as they're driving down and you see some of the landscaping timbers over here just floating away. So it's not something that you want to be driving in, but all of those vehicles just continue to push water further and further up. This is the Inn of 1001 Nights. Beautiful inn. I've never even paid much attention to this one. Yeah, I had a friend of mine that was one of the investors in the football team that was actually looking at buying part of the spot at one point. So. Catalina's home of the Dolphins. This is the Bay of the Dancing Dolphins coming in to meet the Dolphins here. Athletic facility up here. This is the parking lot at Catalina's, which is in between us and the tennis courts right now. Tennis courts are high and dry, but not that parking lot. Look at that fire hydrant up ahead, all the way up to the top of it. And this area has been flooded since yesterday when I went to the store. I'll walk up to the gate here at Catalina. Take a look inside the gate. Oh man, the vehicle driving through Orange and Riberia now. Can't quite. Is it making it? He might be making it right now, but that vehicle is going to sustain some heavy damage. Yeah, definitely not a good idea. I'm driving around. It's going to be a while before it's safe to drive downtown. You can see the water just flowing through this area right now. Let's get up here a little bit closer. You'll be able to see it flowing out down Mulvey Street and making its way to the gymnasium. Those of you that have been in that gym, you know the steps leading up to it. The water's right up to the top step right now. Oh, wow. I'm going to show you the playground area here at Catalina's. Bring it up over here. Let you see down to the basketball courts, playground, all of that area. Now, you should see just up ahead here, there's a fire hydrant. Just barely sticking up above the ground, above the water. Way back out here into the street. I think it's actually safer walking down the middle of the street than these sidewalks because you can't tell where the curbs are. See how deep the water here is in front of the gym. Iberia Street, another one that's notorious for flooding. Making our way towards US 1, where water was coming from the San Sebastian River over the railroad tracks and out onto the road, and then flowing into this area yesterday. You see a trash can down there. I'm not sure where FSDB is. Tell me what that is, and we'll be glad to head that way if we can. Oh, the Florida School for the Deaf and Blind. Yes, that's a little further north from where we can get to. We live down in the historic district, so not able to make it up that far. But man, there's a lot of vehicles in this lot over here. And this area, like I said, has been flooded since yesterday. There's the Home Prosperity Bank, Ameris Bank over there. See the trash can just floating down the street here. Wow. No, this is very sad. Yeah, no, and like I say, Iberia Street gets flooded in a light storm, but this water's going to take a couple days to get out of here. So, this is north towards the bus and RV parking spots, located right off of Orange and Iberia. Another trash can floating down Iberia Street. Take a look at this house here. Water right up to their door. Watch your step when you leave your house. Hello? Yeah, that's US 1. Trying to get food delivered? Yeah. The closest spot that they'd be able to get to is at Orange and Iberia, Orange and US 1. There's a business right up there, but you'd have to get up there to get to it. I don't think the delivery driver's going to swim down this way. Yeah. Wow, so this water is waist deep here at Iberia and Orange. See some people paddle boarding down the street here, all the way down there. Yeah, Ameris Bank. Ameris Bank, A-M-E-R-I-S. Trying to get food delivery out in this area right now. I can't imagine anybody wants to deliver in the downtown area. Definitely not many of the streets are drivable right now. I'm up on my toes and the water's coming up to my waist. Oh, there's a car down here, flooded out. Right where that gentleman's walking. Yep. make our way up here to the corner. We are walking down Orange Street right now. Just crossed over Riberia. It's in front of Arnett Heating and Air Conditioning. See some folks sitting on their porch up here at the corner. School district parking lot over here to the right. Thanks, Jade. It is bad here right now.
I can't hear anything she's saying. Oh, she's recording. It looks like
Yeah.
she was saying something.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is water that came in from the San Sebastian River. And I started seeing this flooding yesterday, early in the day. And this is the back lot over here at Arnett. Water seems to be flowing through there. Can't tell if it's a wind blowing in or if it's water still coming in, but you can see all of their vehicles parked back here in that lot. Water right up to the back bumpers of the Sprinter vans. Verizon vehicles over here. This is where Old Town Title Property Insurance Group is. You see that trash can just floating down the road. Traffic is able to make it down US 1, but you can't make a right anywhere coming into town, into the historic district. Yes, we are live right now, Rob. Most of these buildings seem to have power, but we don't know in this area. Yeah, I see lights on in this building just up ahead at Coastal Spine. Still have power. See some folks out here on the porch at this house over.
We're giving updates. That's very nicely though. It's an experience. I imagine. Were you guys down on
Yes.
Been at the fort.
Yes.
We're live now, yeah. Yeah.
Yes, we do a YouTube series here in town, and since we can't do much of the else, we're covering some of the flood damage. Y'all live here? Yeah, I saw this area was flooded yesterday. Yeah, but not like this. Not like this. The water's still coming in from the bayfront. Yeah, we have not seen any down power lines or anything like that.
No giant.
No big trees down, just a couple of limbs here and there. This is US 1 right here. Ponce de Leon Boulevard that we're approaching now. I don't want to get any closer because I hear that buzzing transformer over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're not going to go that way.
No, we're
Yep,
in the water.
yep. Seek higher ground.
Over here.
Okay.
Get out.
Yep. We'll go down Castillo Drive.
We're right here.
Yep. I think that's a pump that's running. Yep. Oh. Yeah, that's what I was telling her. Seaside Adventures would be a good spot to try to get food delivered. You just have to make your way down here. Get it. Yeah, I can't imagine too many delivery companies being open right now. But the ones that are probably doing a brisk business. For those that already ate up all their hurricane snacks. Get up here out of the water. So, the area on US 1 is dry. Seaside Adventures here. But as you can see, the water is very, very intense. The flooding is extreme. So we're going to make our way up to Castillo Drive, up towards the Village Inn here. Yes, we did in our previous live. You can see some of the flooding on Cordova Street down near Flagler College. Looked like the college was okay at that point. We will, in our next broadcast, go out live over there by the college. Yes, Teeny Martini still has power, and their live stream is up and running. They have a good number of people watching that one. Saw the owner of Teeny Martini out there last night. So even water coming through the parking lot here behind the Marist Bank. Looks like their sign got blown out. I think that was already done during Ian. I think that sign was damaged then. Nope, there's the sign right there. I think it's blowing out of the trees. So. Fire chief just passed by, so stay off the roads. Stay home where it's safe right now. This is the parking lot over here at Amaris. And you see another vehicle flooded out over there. Strong, but not too bad right now.
Yeah, we've been all the way at the fort.
How'd you get over here?
Just walking.
Was it up here?
Oh, up
It's
at
been
the
up
fort
the
is above the waist.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, water's still coming in off the bayfront.
Is the boat full?
Oh, yeah.
No, actually,
Well-
I'd say the areas around the fort has a lot more water than the moat itself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's about a foot and a half of water in the moat, but it's waist high out on A1A.
I'm not giving you a hard time about going around.
As long as you're walking, no driving down through there. You can't make it through most of these streets right now. Have a good day, sir. Stay safe. Pastor Donald, A1A is the street that Teeny Martini is on. So it faces the bayfront. So that's where the water was waist deep. Jane says you can boat to the college but not drive. So we'll walk down there in our next broadcast. About an hour and a half, 2 hours, I'll head back out. I'm going to show you an update and see if the water started receding at all. So if you're familiar with the area, this is Castillo Drive, the road that leads into the visitor center parking garage. We're going to take a walk through the garage because they open up the garage for locals to park their vehicles in if they were subject to flood areas, flood-prone areas. And we're going to take a quick walk through there because there actually are vehicles parked in there. check it out. Yeah, I did not see any flooding down in this area during Ian. There might have been some water, but not flooding like this. St. Augustine PD out here making sure that nobody's driving down this street here. This is Castillo Drive, the Village Inn right up there. But if you look across, the water over at the San Sebastian River, that water is still very, very high over there.
You're gonna grab it? I would say.
Yeah, right. Watch for the curbs. We found it's safer to walk in the middle of the street than the sidewalks, just because of the curbs and not knowing and then tripping and falling. Yeah, he was just over at the fort a little while ago with Arlo. So. Yes, we are live. We are live right now. This is Castillo Drive and Riberia Street. Yes, Cordova is definitely flooded. We will be headed towards Cordova in just a few moments. Actually making our way to Cordova now. We're going to take a ride on Cordova and walk through the visitor center parking facility and then be headed down Cordova Street. We live down in the historic district, so the only way to get around right now is to walk. So normally we have a live stream running on St. George Street from our balcony above Whetstone Chocolates. We'll turn that back on in a little bit. So we just had another gentleman join us. It's a photographer, local photographer here, coming out to get a few images. So we are literally walking down the middle of Castillo Drive right now. I have not seen any concerns about flash flooding. The water is right now about knee deep coming down Castillo Drive, headed towards the visitor center. This is St. Francis Field here, the special events area, where so many festivals and things take place here. Now, see, this is one of the concerns that we have. Vehicles driving down these streets and forcing this water up into other buildings. Please do not do this. All right, and we know that gentleman was coming down to check on his business. The wake. Yeah.
Thank you.
Here comes another vehicle. He's actually going the wrong way down Castillo to another road that's closed. So there's really no need to be coming down here. Even if you have a business down here, you can't do anything about it right now until the water starts receding. So far, everybody still seems to have power here. There's been isolated spots where power was out, but we have not really seen any power outages yet. So for those of you that might remember, this building here used to sit over closer to the visitor center, and they picked it up and moved it over here, and I believe it's restrooms now for special events field. Good, Jane, you still have power. We still have power at our place down in the historic district. Yeah, the water being pushed up by these vehicles is not good. I just saw a FedEx truck going by. Still out making deliveries. That's some dedication right there. I don't think that very many of the businesses are open to be able to accept packages, but we talked to the gentleman who owns a surf shop yesterday on St. George Street, and he said that the FedEx driver told him he was one of 80 packages that he was able to deliver yesterday. 1 out of 80. The other 79 had to go back. And this just as businesses were, and the city was making preparations for Nights of Lights. Nights of Lights will still go on. November 19th will be the light up ceremony down on the town plaza. Starts with a concert over at the Leitner Museum. And then another concert over at the Plaza, playing holiday music. I'm going to show you this area over here that's still flooded. You can see these vehicles coming through here, just forcing more water up there. You can see where it forces it up. So please do not drive through this area. We're out walking around in it. Not forcing any water up into anybody's business or homes or anything like that. So we're approaching the north end of Cordova Street now, which runs right by the All Children's Playground over there. I think there's a reopening of that very, very soon, dedication of that again. It's been closed for quite some time, a couple of years now, so that's coming up very soon. Keep you posted on that. Not the big part of the park, yeah. Drainage area over by the bus loading and unloading zone is filled. You see the winds pick up around this corner. You see a vehicle turning around there. They realize that they're not going to be able to make it through. I'm going to take a quick walk through the parking garage. Looks to have stayed high and dry. So the city did open up the parking garage to be able to park for free for people who were in flood-prone areas. And I think even people that were not in flood-prone areas realize now that that was a good idea to park inside of there. Yeah, St. George Street is fine. The only flooding on St. George Street right now is at Cuna Street in St. George, over by Teddy's Ice Cream and the Benet store. That's the lowest spot on St. George Street, so there's a little bit of water there, but it didn't seem to have reached inside of any of the businesses there. So if you look back at a couple of our just previous videos, even the one just before this one, that area stayed pretty dry. We're walking through the parking garage now. So for those that did park in the garage, everything stayed dry in here. Water has not reached in here at all. Definitely kept any vehicle sheltered from any debris that was potentially going to fly around.
That's a pretty cool bus.
Yes. There was another Volkswagen bus parked right over here, but it seems to be gone now. One of the guys that lives over in Davis Shores had a Volkswagen bus parked there, so I know that there were at least 3 of them parked in here. And there's still power inside of the parking garage and downtown area, so I haven't seen really any areas that lost power yet. Down here, I haven't really seen any reports on what the storm is doing, if it's still coming through this area, or if it's the majority of it's passed by. We may still get some of the outer bands.
Going up the Gulf Coast.
Headed out towards the Gulf now. So we just came through the parking facility, headed down Cordova Street. Try to take you down there. Yeah, no gators, no sharks, nothing like that in the water on the streets.
We're not even really a shark area.
Yeah. So we're back over here near the intersection of Orange and Cordova Street. We are right up against the coast. John, this is the east coast of Florida. Now's where the water starts getting deep again. So this is one of the higher spots. But water flowing from all directions here, coming from the bayfront, coming from the San Sebastian River, and down Cordova Street here. So I'm going to make my way down Cordova Street. See a scooter coming through here. Potter's Wax Museum. Yeah, I believe the water is lower than what it was when we came through here just a little while ago. So we're going to be walking right by Potter's Wax Museum here and towards the Tolomato Cemetery. More than 1,000 documented burials in the Tolomato Cemetery. Now, the water is receding a little bit in this area right now. It was very deep on Cordova Street earlier. Yes, this area unfortunately is flooded many times, but the most recent storm was Hurricane Ian just about a month ago. We did not see flooding on these streets here during Ian. And this is the St. Augustine Love Tree. Dalton, yes, we walked by Maple Street earlier, so we're about to walk by there again here in just a few minutes. This is at the Bar Harbor Cheesecake Company and the St. Augustine Love Tree. You'll see this palm tree going right up through the middle of this live oak tree. Now, I did not notice this flooding in here earlier when we came by at, did you? I didn't really see it inside of the cemetery here. No, this water has just recently come in. So when we walked by here maybe an hour and a half ago, yeah, so now it's inside of the cemetery here. Try to slip through the fence here and show you, yeah, more than 1,000 documented burials. In this cemetery, and it is flooded out now. There's the Varela Chapel back there at the very back.
We've got Chamber of Commerce commenting on our posts.
Yes. So this is Mojo's Barbecue right here. So actually, this building over here to the right, this was actually the stables for the horses, for the horse and buggies at one time. And now that's the bar for Mojo's. So we're going to walk you up here to the gate of the Tolomato Cemetery. Hey, you know, Julia, this would be maybe a time to tell the story about Tilly. Do we want to tell the story of Tilly? Yes, here. I'm going to come on over this way. And we're going to tell you a ghost story right now. Here, me.
Well, as many of you know, here in St. Augustine, we get a lot of 4th grade field trips. And with the 4th grade field trips, they come up and sometimes they'll stay overnight, and there's not much for them to do once the sun goes down. So ghost tours are very popular amongst the students. So there was a tour guide who had the students here one time, and they started noticing what looked to be like a woman in the middle of the cemetery, rocking on her knees back and forth. The kids were getting hysterical, and the parents just thought it was the coolest thing. One of the moms even asked, "How much does she get paid to be out there? I want her job." The tour guide, though, insisted that there was nobody in the cemetery. If you look around, it's nothing more than tree branches, street lights, and do you feel that? A bit of wind, creating the illusion of someone out there. They continued on with the tour. The parents took some pictures, and then when it was over, there was one of the chaperones that asked if the tour guide would bring him back over here to the cemetery. It appeared he had some questions. Upon returning back here, they did still see what appeared to be the woman in the middle of the cemetery, on her knees, rocking back and forth, carrying what looked to be an infant at one point. Now this gentleman, explained that he was a psychic and that he was starting to get a feeling that she was a nanny for a family from the 1700s who actually lost her life protecting that infant in her arms. But the infant survived. Now, this gentleman also spoke out the word Tilly, short for Matilda. The woman slowly stopped rocking, turned and hesitated, and then went back to rocking. And the tour guide assured that these harbors are protected from Tilly. And I know for me, every time I walk by this cemetery, I do speak the word Tilly, keeping Tilly's courage alive. You may encounter some thunderstorms or hurricanes upon your visits here in St. Augustine. But for the most part, this harbor is protected. Is this an illusion? Or was Tilly allowed to come back and warn of impending danger? I'll let you decide that one. Let's move on with our journey.
All right. Awesome. So if you want to hear more stories like that, join us on the Night Watchman Ghost Tour. And if you don't want to come on an in-person tour, we have an audio tour of the Night Watchman Ghost Tour as well that you can download on the Voice Maps app that's available in the Apple Play Store and the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. The Night Watchman Ghost Tour. So you'll see this headstone almost completely submerged. Headstone of James. A lot of the other ghost tour guides in town tell the story of James. We, on the Night Watchman Ghost Tour, we choose not to tell any stories about children that have passed away. But yes, you can see that this cemetery is completely flooded out right now. Yes, St. Johns County Chamber of Commerce. The flooding is definitely worse than what it was during Ian. So we are walking south on Cordova Street, headed down towards Flagler College. We're going to swing by and check out Maple Street Bakery again. Dalton in here. The manager's down there. Asked us to swing by and check. If you have any other businesses that you'd like us to check on, leave us a comment on the video. We'll be happy to check on them the next time that we head out. Walk down by Flagler College here because I know a lot of people have friends and students. This is the Southern Wind Inn. Sarah, I see that you're on a sailboat right now. Let us know how you're doing out there. We saw a bunch of sailboats out there rocking on the bayfront.
We've got somebody on the sailboat.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. So how are you doing? Is there anything that you need out there? Jackie, we don't have to worry about gators in this water.
I haven't even seen a gator in St. Augustine.
Gators at the alligator farm, but and you see the FedEx truck making deliveries out here. And this is Saragossa Street. We'll slip down later and check on our friends at Lions and Lanterns. Just locked down in the dorm. Yeah, we'll head down Carrera Street. That's usually the street that we come in off of US 1, but when I came in from going to the grocery store the other day, there was some flooding there, but it wasn't too intense. We were able to make it down Carrera Street. But you'll see the FedEx truck coming down the street right now, making his way slowly through here to be able to make deliveries. I think I'd wait a few days on my package and be just fine with it. Go home. Yeah. Not much way to make it through to any of these places.
More power to you.
It's on the second floor at Lewis Hall. Yeah, so heavy equipment coming through and warning people to watch their wake as they go through.
You don't got any cuts on your legs or anything.
Nope.
You can clean up really well.
Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, sir.
Take care.
Thank you.
So we walked by this area earlier. This is Salt Spa. Water up to the doorway, but doesn't seem to have made it in there. Fan belts. Once the water recedes, this is a quick recovery for this town. They've been through this before. They know what to do. It's not uncommon here to see some flooding. This is just a little more severe than what we recently saw with Ian. As you see, they're already out working. Trying to clear areas where they can. So we are up, this is Cuna Street that we're crossing now. I definitely don't need to be down here driving right now. Thank you, Pugs. We do appreciate that. I've been a tour guide here in St. Augustine for 34 years. Now you see this vehicle trying to make it down Cuna Street, and that's headed towards Spanish Street, but they're not going to be able to do that. I'm actually backing up and turning around, it looks like. I'm actually born and raised in Orlando, but I've been doing tours here in St. Augustine for the last 34 years. Been bringing school groups on field trips here, and doing guided tours of St. Augustine. My passion is here. And we're coming up on Maple Street Bakery right now. So Dalton, I'm gonna walk right up to the doors there and show you what's going on over here at Maple Street. Another great breakfast spot here in town, very popular. People line up normally out here where these plants are. Line up to get in. I'm gonna cross the street here. And you're the manager at Manly Toys. Where is that one? I'm not familiar with that one. Is that out on US 1? All right, so as you can see, the water outside. Oh, okay.
They're possibly flooded.
Oh, on Hippolyta Street. Okay, we'll swing by there next. All right, so you can see that the water out on the street is up here, but the sandbagging that they did at the main door here, the lower area, seems to have helped. Take a peek inside here. The water barrier seems to have done its job. Take a little peek inside. There is a bit of water on the floor, but not a lot. Let me get down here to the other window here. See if you can see inside. Yes, so water made it past the counter, but there's just a very small amount of water, not a whole lot in there. I'm going to say about an inch or so at the door, and then made it past the counter where you order. Just a little bit of water on the floor in the kitchen, but not much there. So Maple Street seems to have done well. Come and get you some breakfast as soon as they reopen. Dalton, let us know when you get reopened. We'll be sure to let all of our viewers know. If you don't mind, hit the subscribe button. We're going to be going out and doing these lives throughout the day today and tomorrow as well. And as businesses start reopening, we would love to be able to come and feature some of those and let people know that they can come and support the businesses as soon as these floodwaters clear. But we're right across from the Grace United Methodist Church here. Okay, across from the Casa Maya. Yes. I know right where that's at. We're going to head there shortly. So this is Carrera Street and Cordova. And eventually we'll make it down that way. Right now, I'm going to try to get by Flagler College. Walk by some of the dorms there so that those that have students and family members here at Flagler can see what they're dealing with. So this is the Grace United Methodist Church here. It's made out of poured concrete, same substance, same materials that they used in building the Ponce de Leon Hotel. Henry Flagler actually donated the land for them to be able to build their church over here because he wanted the land to be able to build across in the Ponce de Leon Hotel when he built his other hotels. So talked them into making a trade, gave them some money to build a new church over here. So this is Scarlett O'Hara's. See a few appear to be students from Flagler College trying to make their way across. That water's going to go right down in those waders. Okay. So let's go down by Flagler and then we'll come back up and check on Manly Toys. Over there right next to, oh, I hope he didn't stall out. Check out Villano. We cannot make it up to Villano. We cannot drive on the streets here, as we've been warning all these cars not to do. So I we live right down here in the historic district, and we're able to walk around down here, but not going to take our vehicles out of the garage until it is safe to do so. So maybe somebody else that's up in Volano can send us some video. Send it to seaamericatoursfl@gmail.com. We'll be glad to post it and share it. If you have any photos of your area. Now this is outside of the closet here. Yes, the bridge to Volano, as far as I know, is still open. There's a little bit of water inside of the closet here, but doesn't seem to have gotten too far up in there. The water barrier that they have up has held up. Yeah, I don't remember the last time I saw flooding this bad here. But as I've said before, this is a resilient town. The people here know what to do. These are what are called hurricane lilies, and we saw them pop out just a few days before the storm, and we said, uh-oh, this isn't good. You only see them around hurricane season, and they had all gone away, but right back out here again. So we're going to make a right turn on Valencia Street here, which is a street that runs behind Flagler College, and I believe that's Lewis Hall that we'll be passing near. I think we had somebody that commented they had a student that was up on the second floor of Lewis Hall. Yes, St. Augustine strong, that's right. Florida strong, because it's not just our area that's been affected. Our friends down in South Florida were affected greatly by Ian, and this storm as well. So I'm originally from the Orlando area, and that area still had some flooding from Ian left over. St. Augustine flooding kind of receded quickly after Ian, but this is Cordova and Valencia Street here. This is the intersection here, and you can see all of the water still in this area, still flowing through. We're gonna make our way up Valencia, headed west on Valencia right now. So the water in this area seems to be just right at the curb level. Doesn't seem to have gotten much higher than that, which is a good thing. So that smokestack there, that was an Edison dynamo which supplied all the electricity for the Ponce de Leon Hotel. This was the first hotel in Florida with all electric lights, designed and installed by Thomas Edison. Yeah, I haven't seen reports in other areas. Really don't watch any news or anything like that, so I haven't seen any reports in other areas in Florida, but I know that this was a weaker storm as far as winds go, but the rainfall and the storm surge has been very intense. It's shallower here than it was up there where you were, but still gonna get down inside those boots. Okay, so this is the parking lot over here at Wiley Hall, and then now it's just right up to the curb, but that's it in this area currently. Probably reached a little bit higher. It does look like it did over here at the art building. Be able to show you where the water reached up to, but in this area at least it's starting to go down a little bit. I didn't see when that next high tide is. Let us know again when that high tide is. We'll definitely go back out at high tide. So if you can take a look up here on the Wiley Art Building, the columns up on the top are actually palm logs. So you made use of the materials that you had plenty of. Coming up by Lewis Hall now. I'm going to step out here into the street so you can get a view of Lewis House. There is water up in that retention area on the outside of it. All of the water that runs off of the building and drains down into this area here. But the dorms and so forth seem to be high. dry. We're gonna make our way around by the Student Center, and then we'll head back up to Hippolyta Street. Check on the toy shop. Oh man, all these electric bikes. These are great to have around town, great for getting around town in, but hopefully they all survive it. Flagler College, just one of the most beautiful campuses. It's not too cold down here right now. Wind is blowing, but it's not cold. Yeah, that area around Hippolyta and St. George area, fairly high up. So the only spot that we saw any flooding on St. George Street was at Cuna Street. Some spots of the water are a little cold, but so this is at Sevilla Street. So this is the big gazebo over here at Flagler College. Still see flooding over in this area. Be sure to turn on the notification bell so that you'll see when we go live next. Definitely during the next high tide we'll be out. And hopefully the water can recede a bit between them. Hopefully this can give peace of mind to those that are on here. Yeah, living on a boat, but man, they were rocking like crazy. This is definitely worse flooding than Ian. Ian had more wind damage, but the flooding. This is the Flagler Memorial Presbyterian Church. That's where Henry Flagler is buried, along with his daughter Jenny Louise, his first wife, and Jenny Louise's stillborn daughter. So there's flooding all the way up to the bottom steps of the Presbyterian Church, but doesn't look like it made it in. But this is definitely worse flooding than what we had during Ian. I don't quite remember the flooding in Matthew reaching quite in this far inland. It's just the storm surge. The king tide, yes. We had a full moon just a couple days before. We had a king tide. And this is headed down towards the Student Center here at Flagler. Such a beautiful campus. Imagine going to school in a historic building like this. This is the old Ponce de Leon Hotel, built back in 1888 by Henry Flagler. That's right, it was a blood moon, king tide, and nor'easter coming in, and then what became Hurricane Nicole. If you want to go on a walking tour of St. Augustine with us, come and do that. We'd love to take you on a tour of this beautiful town. Whether it's a ghost tour or a historic walking tour. Yes, I think Carolinas is a historic building. I was actually just reading a little bit of history about it just the other day. So some of you mentioned watching the news. I don't watch any news at all. I sit and read and study about history, especially the history of St. Augustine. There's the volleyball court here at Flagler. Art museum over here to the right. Now our ghost tours start out from the Spanish bakery right at Whetstone Chocolates on St. George Street. High tide around 8 or 9 tonight. We'll be back out. Hopefully this water has some time to go down before any more comes in. And hopefully at high tide we don't get any more in. So I'm in the harbor chain here. This part, I don't know if it's true or not, but I was told that this harbor chain used to stretch across the inlet. And if enemy ships were coming in, they would stretch it up higher and try to rip the hull out of the ship. I don't know that that's exactly true, but that's one of the stories that I've told, and I haven't really been able to find any historic use of it here in St. Augustine. This is the student center over here at Flagler. Starbucks and Chick-fil-A. The water here is about ankle deep right now. Please share the channel with your friends. We do all kinds of on-the-street interviews where we ask people about their favorite spots to shop and eat, favorite St. Augustine experiences. And then we go and do videos about those spots. If you have a business here in town, we'd love to feature you. Shoot us an email, seamericatoursfl@gmail.com. We'll be happy to come and do that. Put together some promo videos for you. Share it on our channel. When we support one another, we all do better. We're making our way to King Street here. This area of King Street doesn't have a whole lot of water on it, but as you know, when you get to Cordova and King, that's a notorious area for flooding just past the Zoraida Castle. Post office over here, everything there seems to be doing well. And then we get back to the water again. On King Street now, coming around the front of Flagler College towards the Light Museum. This area floods in the light spring. This is Zoraida Castle. Yes, Nights of Lights. The light up is on November 19th. You can make it out for that. It is a wonderful ceremony. More than 3 million white lights throughout town. Runs from the middle of November all the way through the end of January. Come out, check it out. Stay in one of the historic inns, one of the great bed and breakfasts, one of the beautiful hotels here in St. Augustine. Yeah, there's a lot of water there in front of Zoraida right now. I didn't see that comment there. Shout out. Yeah, there are actually a few different color lights. So keep an eye out as you come through town. You'll see some blue lights, a few red lights in town. Mark those down. Let us know where they are. Yeah, I was actually just telling Julia about that the other day. There's a few odd lights scattered throughout town. Yes, it definitely could have been worse. Jane, shoot us an email. Let us know where some of those lights are. We'd love to be able to point them out on our tours. We're actually putting together an audio tour for the Nights of Lights to kind of showcase some of the highlights and give a little history as you walk along. So be able to download that and listen to it as you walk along and enjoy some holiday music. Yeah, I've noticed last year about 12 different colored lights that just kind of mysteriously been placed throughout the area. If you see one of those, send us a message. Let us know. We'll go and kind of showcase them. Yeah, I've seen a few blue lights around town as well. So we're approaching the front of Flagler College. This is right here at Granada and King Street. There's still water in the area. Santa and Mrs. Claus watching. Man, y'all are coming into your busy season here. So I'm going to turn this south on Granada Street. This area floods all of the time. Get some rain through this area. Yeah. This is brackish water through here. And that's the City Hall and Leitner Museum. Was home of the Alcazar Hotel, built by Henry Flagler at the same time as they were building the Ponce de Leon Hotel. This is Flagler College here. So you can see the water reached up about the statue of Henry Flagler. Came a little higher up on this wall, gone down a little bit now. I'm still trying to get my way off the naughty list, so I'll shout out Santa and Mrs. Claus. Water's fairly clean. Yes, we go home, take a shower, clean up. Julia is making her way over to the Alcazar. Wow, now this fountain over here was empty yesterday when we walked by. We were commenting on it and wondering why they haven't finished this fountain and restored it. But it is full of water now. Wow, this water is moving quick too. There's the Casa Monica Hotel over here. That was another one of Henry Flagler's hotels. He bought into bankruptcy. So yeah, this fountain was completely empty yesterday morning when we walked by. We're out doing a little filming for our YouTube channel. You wanted to know when they were going to fill the fountain? Statue of Pedro Menendez here outside of the Alcazar Hotel. Completed and opened December 25th of 1888. And then as you see, as we approach Cordova Street again, still flooded over here. This is usually one of the last areas to finish draining down near Bridge and Cordova Street. Workers over here at Casa Monica holding down the fort. We saw a few guests arriving here just yesterday. Was that today? Yesterday. arriving here at the Casa Monica. And I wonder if there's water in the pool as well. Yeah, the Lightner Museum unfortunately does take on some water during these times, and I know that during Ian, and the flooding wasn't quite as bad during Ian, that there was water inside of there. For those that don't know, the Alcazar had the world's largest indoor swimming pool when it was completed. So the rounded portion of the building down here, kind of slip out here so you can see it down at the end, stretched for an entire city block. So the men swam at one end of the pool, the women swam at the other. Indoor swimming pool that stretched for an entire city block that was filled completely with sulfur water too. So we really didn't even get a whole lot of rain during this storm, but man, that storm surge brought in tons and tons of water. And then you see a car driving up Cordova Street here, one of the worst flooded streets in the area, and just pushing that wake. Trying to push and make it through, and it shoves that wake up into the buildings and causes more damage inside. So, emergency vehicles coming through. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we want to go up St. George to Hippolyta. We'll check on the toy shop over there. It's not just any toy shop. It's the Manly store. All kinds of cool stuff in there. Stuffed in there a few times. I think I looked at a drone in there at one time. People outside of the Casa Monica here. Head by there, and then we're going to head back and recharge batteries, and we'll head back out a little bit later in the afternoon. That's right, they do have a rooftop pool here at the Casa Monica. I'll give you a quick peek inside one of our luxury hotels here. It's going to cost you $4 a night to stay there when Henry Flagler opened it. That included 3 meals a day. You're not getting a cup of coffee in there for $4 now. Government House Museum, former home of the governor of East Florida. When we walked through here earlier, this area was flooded, so it seems to have gone down some. Water made it up to about the halfway point of the town plaza. Seems to have gone down now a little bit. Hopefully it'll get completely out of this area before high tide comes back in. Trinity Episcopal Church there. Yes, I just saw it. We got a new first ever poet laureate here in St. Augustine. The Basilica Cathedral. Jane, you're a massage therapist. Definitely use one day. Swing by and book an appointment. Okay, so here on St. George Street now. Like I say, you can see some limbs and tree debris, but really wasn't any flooding on St. George Street except the area at Cuna Street, which is the lowest spot, kind of the middle of St. George Street. This debris will get cleaned up quickly. As soon as the floodwaters are out, these businesses will start opening up, welcoming people back. We know you've eaten up all your hurricane snacks already, so you'll be able to come out to have a snack or lunch or dinner down here on St. George Street and enjoy some live music, patronize some of these businesses who have been forced to close again. All of our school field trips had to cancel for these 3-day period and through Monday of next week. Hopefully be able to welcome back our groups on the rest of the week next week. Be able to showcase the history of this beautiful town. So I want to show you something here. This is the Pena Peck House. So those windows up there very top, those are actually false doors as well. So you had to pay a tax for each door in your house. And showed, yes. So the bottom panels of those doors actually open up as well. So it's a window. It looks like a window, but it's actually a door. And that way you avoided paying the tax on an extra door in your house. One more wind. We do see some more people out here on St. George Street. And this is the Pena Peck House, built around 1750. Yep. So this is Treasury Street. That's flooded out at Charlotte, but yeah. Came all the way up the bayfront. So all of these businesses are doing fine down here on St. George Street. Yeah, the only spot that we saw any flooding at all was right at Cuna and St. George. And that's just the lowest spot on the street. The water has to run to somewhere and drain out. Drain's not quite adequate enough to handle all of that water that came in, but we'll make our way back up there in just a few minutes after we swing by the toy shop here. See a few families out. Now, I appreciate the surf shop being open yesterday because I was able to get these shoes that I'm walking around in right now. There's a storm drain here. We're just going to clear some of that off. So if we do get more water coming down through here, it can drain out. All right. Taco shop over here. Another popular spot. Taffy shop. House down there and Prohibition Kitchen. Spanish consulate building here. Castillo de Hidalgo. Great gelato and sandwich shop. Also home of the Magic Shop over here. Magic Show. Yeah, even have the fountain going. So I've got a little bit of water through here. Looks like mainly just rainwater. What a beautiful little plaza here. We have a scavenger hunt. If you click the link in our description on some of our videos, you'll see a link there, and we have a free scavenger hunt. And it points them to this area to have people take a picture at this well right over here. I just think it's such a beautiful spot. Yeah, there was some water down through here. So, yeah, there's tile up where the cones are. Alright, so here in front of Manly Toys and Hobbies, Julia's taking a peek inside, all dry in there.
Here, other places, it's bad.
Okay, so everything looks good through there. There's that well that we were talking about. So if you didn't have a well on your property, there were public wells all over town where you'd be able to go and get some water for cooking and drinking. Okay. So we're gonna show you the spots down here, down by the Hippo. It's still flooded out at Charlotte Street and Hippolyta. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you all for tuning in. Thanks for sharing the channel with your friends and family members that visit this area. Be sure to check us out on our tours. We will come back out a little bit later, show you a little bit more of the coverage. Flooding here in St. Augustine. Hope everybody has a wonderful and safe day.